The day had lulled on for Frank. A glance out of his 36th story office window revealed storm clouds that rolled closer with the promise of heavy rain. Frank removed his glasses with a sigh. Damn dirty glasses. Cleaning them for what must have been the fourth time in the last 15 minutes. Not being able to stand another look at his computer screen, he shut it off and began packing up.
Oh, trying to sneak out on company time, are we now, Frank?
A pinched, nasal voice called from behind. Frank fought the urge to roll his eyes as he turned around with a forced smile. He was met with Bob, resting his arm on the filing cabinet, holding back a smile, apparently amused at the joke he never seemed to tire of. Yesterday, it was made in response to Frank's one bathroom break that he took for the entire day. You got me again, Bob, he said with his best attempt at an amused chuckle as he could muster at this admittedly late hour. Just want to beat the rain. My old lady, she started dinner already, and I'd really hate to keep her waiting. Frank let out a wry laugh before pausing briefly. May I leave? He asked expectantly, lifting his satchel and placing his hat upon his head.
Oh, I don't know. Can you?
The words barely escaped Bob's mouth before he busted out into a chortle and began walking away. Frank's heart fell as he watched Bob walk past and disappear back into his office. Good one. Frank could not keep up this facade any longer, and he let out an exasperated sigh. He gave another glance around the office. It was empty. Bats! He cursed silently to himself. Frank realized that he could not have been the only one in the office who wanted to leave early. The sky flashed, followed by a great boom of thunder just a moment after. The storm was very near. Frank begrudgingly took out his phone to call his wife. She picked up after a few short rings.
Oh, babe, hey! I hope you left the office early like I told you. That storm looks like it's gonna be a beast. Anyways, I got a fresh one waiting for you. And boy, did he put up a fight. Oh, it's gonna be a great dinner. When do you think you're gonna be home?
I'm not gonna be, said Frank flatly, waiting for the deluge of nagging that he knew was sure to follow.
Are you kidding me, Frank? First, you pester me about eating meals that are not fresh enough, and now you leave me hanging? Who is it? Is it that bimbo of a secretary you've been giving the goo-goo eyes to again? Huh, Frank? By God, if I have to teach her another lesson, I'll...
No, honey, no, it's not her. I forgot to ask someone to leave, and I was left with Bob.
Oh, so if it's not the blame Bob excuse again, Frank, I swore to you that I would find that girl and...
No, listen. She is no longer on my floor. She works all the way down on the 4th floor now after requesting a transfer.
Oh, so you've paid her a visit. Well, that's lovely. So how about this? Why don't you continue to forget to ask someone for permission to leave and just live at work? And I'll finish dinner alone tonight.
Frank could hear her voice beginning to crack.
All my hard work, and this is what I get. No one appreciates me.
Oh, honey. Frank was met with the dial tone. Wonderful, he muttered to himself as he slowly began to reach for the sleeping bag he kept rolled up under the desk. It was rank. He let out another long sigh. Jesus. Frank knew he could not go another day without eating. He'd been feeling jittery all day, which did nothing to quell his impatience with his coworker, Bob. If only I could take out Bob. I wouldn't have to go after the women. For though Bob was effeminate in voice, he more than made up for it in stature. He looked as if he could easily hurt Frank from all the way across the room. Frank ran his pale hand through his thinning hair, and he thought of how he could, at one time, take out several men if he was surrounded. How young and spry he once was. Now, he could only ever handle young women. And that was something that greatly displeased Barbara.
Oh, I gotta find dinner,
Frank thought to himself as he began making his way towards the exit. Because the parking lot was technically a part of the building property, he would only feel slightly weary, though nothing that would inhibit him all that greatly. He entered the elevator and pressed P1. As the elevator made its long journey downward, Frank thought about how long he would have to wait for dinner to arrive. He exited the elevator and squatted in this indent that was in the wall right next to it. One that was shallow enough to conceal a man and prevent an unsuspecting person who walked by from noticing. He waited there for what seemed like hours, listening to nothing but the sounds of the storm. And not a soul came by to enter their car and drive home. Frank's stomach grumbled. He slumped against the wall and slid down it into a squat. He considered calling it a night earlier, but found his resolve quickly upon realizing that he could not possibly miss dinner for a third night in a row. He waited and listened until the growling of his stomach and the rumbling of the storm became indiscernible from one another.
I don't care who it is tonight.
The thought intruded Frank's mind.
I can't afford to be picky.
His thoughts were soon interrupted by the ding of the elevator, which shot him back to attention. His mouth began watering, a Pavlovian response to the promise of dinner. Then the elevator doors slowly opened to reveal a pretty young girl with shoulder-length blonde hair that curved delicately towards her neck and shone even in the harsh fluorescent lighting. Oh, her petite frame, it would pose no match even for the now graying Frank. But then his stomach dropped. No, not her. Frank turned his head away, as though not seeing her would quell his hunger. It did not. And his stomach, well, it growled ever stronger, and he let out what seemed to be the umpteenth sigh of the evening.
I suppose I could alleviate Barbara's insecurities once and for all.
He began lurching forward with a heavy heart, all while the girl obliviously listened to her music.
Absolutely no situational awareness. If only her parents had taught her better. What an absolute waste.
Frank slowly closed in, and the girl, she let out a blood-curdling scream, only for it to be drowned out by the thunderous booming of the storm that raged on above them. What an amazing Office Place horror story. You know, you don't really see very many of these. I can only think of one offhand that I've heard in the last year. I hope that we get more stories like this because this was really cool. One of the things I really liked was its unique take on the vampire. So let's think about traditional lore. A vampire, it needs permission in order to enter a place of residence. That is not the case for the type of vampire Frank is. Frank needs permission in order to leave wherever he is. So it's not surprising that there's not very many vampires left in this fictitious world because it'd be really easy to get rid of. You just don't give them permission to leave once you know it's a vampire. Very, very cool idea. Now, can you guys believe that it was this author's very first post on Reddit was this story? How cool is that? Now, I'm going to attempt to say this guy's name, but I'm going to mess it up. I've tried a bunch of times. It's Do Remimido 97. So, thank you, author, for allowing me to do this story. I had so much fun with it. Please, in the future, continue writing. And they have. They've since put up at least 2 more stories on our Creepcast submissions, and I hope to see more moving forward. Amazing work. Please don't stop writing. Now, guys, as of this recording, we have officially hit 60 subscribers, and that is absolutely wild and unbelievable to me. And I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I mean, this channel, it's really come a long way in the last couple of months from that initial video with Cherub.
Say his name and he appears. I believe it.
Cherub.exe. Well. If it isn't Uncle Magnetti, my old friend. You know, I go away on vacation for a few weeks to let loose. Been a long time that I was trapped down in that hell dimension. And what do I find? You finally started listening to my friendly advice. And look at the results. A full 60 subscribers. Amazing. Stupendous. What took you so long? I'd ask why you didn't do it sooner, but don't think I didn't notice what you were up to. Sneaking around, trying to build a Dybbuk box with your cousin Josh in that machine shop, thinking it would trap me into Maui. It wouldn't have. It would have just made me really sad. And then I'd get mad. You know what happens when I get mad, Magnetti. You remember, don't ya? Well, anyway, I wanted to take a quick moment to stop by and bask in my well-earned laurels. I mean, I am the true star of this channel. It ain't you, bub. Anyways, I'm out of here. The locals tell me they make a Bloody Mary to die for. Toodles.
Uncle Magnetti,